Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be continuing on with our Java programming tutorial series, and in this tutorial we are going to be covering escape characters. Now, if you recall, back in the previous tutorial where we learned about arrays, printf, and we learned about we also learned about loops, you remember that I used a \n character to create a new line. That is an escape character. In this video, I'm going to show you what the most common escape characters are within Java. So that way you are equipped for at least those specific characters. You can go onto the web and look up all the other ones because there's quite a few of them. Yeah, let's get started. The first one is the new line escape character. So let's say we have a string, right? So we have a string. We're going to call it name. We're going to set it equal to Josh. And we have a last name. We're going to set it to Baker, for example. And we have our system out printf with our format, and then our name, last name. We're going to say my first name is, and %s to represent a string, and then we're going to do \n. This represents a new line. My last name is %s. Again, to represent another string. And we have name, last name here. So, if we go ahead then, we save this, and we run it, you can see we have my first name is Josh, my last name is Baker. This isn't my real name, so don't bother. But this is just an example. You can see we have a line. We have each part of the string that we wanted to print on different lines. That is thanks to the new line character, or the new line escape character. Now, another thing we could do is we could also implement what's called a tab escape character. Now, this can be used, this is usually used when you want to align data and you want to separate it by tabs and everything. So how does that work? Well, let's say we have an array int sum ints is equal to, let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 characters here. And we want to loop through them all. So for every integer inside of some ints, we can go system out print f say D. We're going to pass it some int. Now we can put a tab after each of these, right? But first, if we run and save this, this is what this is going to look like without the tabs in between. Okay? However, we can then do a \T, T standing for tab. Then we save it and run it again. You can see 1, tab 2, tab 3, tab 4, tab 5. It just keeps on going until we reach 9. Which is pretty cool, if you ask me. Now you could write code to turn this into a grid of integers into the console. So I'll leave that up to you. As a bit of a challenge, you can do that if you want to. But I'm not going to do that because we want to make sure that we have, we want to make sure that we can move on here. The next escape character and final escape character that I'm going to cover in this video with you guys is how to insert a double quote inside of a string. Now, you might think, oh, but why would I need to use an escape character to enter a quote, enter a double quote into a string? Couldn't I just put it in between two other double quotes? No, that doesn't work. That's not how Java interprets it. It doesn't interpret it like that. But you would use the escape character for a double quote in order to do that. And how do I do that? Well, you can go ahead and say string, for example. Spell it right. We're going to call this favorite. We're going to say favorite subreddit. Right? And we're going to set this equal to my favorite subreddit is, and then here's where we name our favorite subreddit. We're going to say \quote r/pro revenge, and then again \quotation mark. Now, Java doesn't interpret this as just separate quotation marks to have a separate string. This now just interprets that quote as a character inside of the string. So we can demonstrate that by printing out this string to the console. So system out println favorite subreddit. Boom. Okay, let's save this and run it. And you can see we get my favorite subreddit is, and then inside of quotation marks, r/pro revenge. Awesome subreddit, by the way. Yeah, so that's basically how you would do that. Feel free to get some practice in. Use the concepts that we've learned up to this point. What I want you to do is I want you to create an array of strings and then use those strings inside of that array, make a grid out of them, and surround each string, surround the string's output with quotation marks. So, for example, you have an array of superheroes like Iron Man, Hulk, and Thor, for example. Iron Man would be surrounded with quotes, Hulk would be surrounded with quotes, and so would Thor. and you could include 6 more superheroes of your choice, for example, and put those into like a 3x3 output grid. I want you to do that. Practice these skills that we've learned so far to kind of give you a good practice on how you would use these concepts. So that basically does it, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video where we will be covering methods. See ya.